Welcome along once again to W3L Wrestling Showdown here. Where else would it be? On the W3L network. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, your suspicions are correct. We are getting ever closer to the first two of our 5 live events we have coming up in the month of May. The first two of these take place on the 11th and the 12th of May in Todmorden and in Newcastle respectively. 2 awesome events that you really need to get to because they are going to be so good. I am sure you've seen the poster, you know some of the people that have been advertised, and let me tell you about some of the stuff you're going to be seeing on those 2 live events. Jayla Dark will be returning to W3L and she'll be taking on Kiara, who's making her W3L debut. We are told that Todmorden will be seeing a defence of the W3L Heavyweight Championship, regardless of who the champion is at that point. And in Newcastle, if you want to talk about big main events, we have got what promises to be an explosive tag team contest as the main event in Newcastle. Mike Musso and Vortex, 2 men who teamed up not that long ago right here on Wrestling Showdown, and well, you saw what happened to the contingency plan in that match. They will face the team of Blondie Barrett and Luke Aldridge. That is a main event worthy of any show in the UK, Europe, anywhere you'd like to mention. And it's happening in Newcastle, so make sure you get along to those events, Todmorden and to Newcastle. In addition to all those names I've mentioned, though, the Ragnar's going to be in Newcastle as well. So much more happening on both of those cards. Make sure you get along to them. I'll tell you how to do that. And I'll tell you more about our other live events in May in just a bit. But first, let's go to this week's match. We're going to be seeing 2 men who are absolutely no strangers to each other. They have wrestled numerous times in W3L and further afield, and especially here on Wrestling Showdown. The very good Mr. Euan Mackie has become sassier than ever, if that's even possible. And he's going to be taking on a man who is proving that as good a tag team wrestler as he is, his singles run is every bit as good. And of course, in the case of Kevin Williams, he and Mackie indeed are both eyeing up our live events, both wanting to put themselves in the best position to get in the best matches. What will happen when Mackie and Williams collide and go one-on-one this week on Showdown? Let's find out by going down to ringside for this week's match.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Fordyce here with you on Wrestling Showdown, and we have more singles competition. 2 men in black and red. 2 men who know each other pretty well. They fought countless times. See Mackie pointing out the fact that they're Williams wants it to change. Kevin Williams in the black and red singlet, Mackie in the black and red shorts. Just coincidence that they're wearing the same colours. Of course, Mackie's changed from the traditional black and green that he used to wear. Now referring to himself as Sasshole the Clown. As I mentioned before, we've seen him already doing this on Wrestling Showdown. He's even more sassier than normal, if that's humanly possible, for the very good Mr. Euan Mackie. Williams, of course, one half of the Tag Team Champions. Now, these 2 men met back in February in the first round of the Wrestling Showdown Championship Tournament. Williams defeated Mackie to eliminate him from the tournament. Mackie arguing with the audience, never a good move. Williams eliminated Mackie from the tournament. Mackie then attacked Williams right after the match with a shovel and left him lying unconscious. This allowed Prince Assad and Saqib Ali to come out and attack Williams. They are looking for a Tag Team Championship rematch. They of course lost their titles at Resolution 11 to Johnny Storm and Jody Fleisch, and they want the belts back that are currently held by Williams and Reed. And I think this is their way of goading Williams into it. And I think a couple of Mackie supporters in the crowd. You won't have seen this, but he came to ringside with a large sign which had a song in it that he made the crowd sing. Obviously a pro Euan Mackie song, of course. That has been thankfully removed from ringside. But the crowd more on Williams' side than Mackie's, I think. So Williams is a bit annoyed with the fact that Mackie would attack him after the match and leave him prey for Assad and Ali. And that's going to be in the back of his mind. So he wants a little revenge, of course. Mackie, he also wants to gain some revenge on Williams for beating him in the first place. And again, they've exchanged wins and losses throughout W3L over the years. Mackie would love to be in prime position for a shot at the Wrestling Showdown Championship when it gets inaugurated. Not too many weeks' time. We'll be right here on Showdown, we'll be able to see that. Williams, of course, we focus more on the tag division, retaining the belts over the contingency plan at Remedy. As we saw last week's episode of Showdown, sorry, 2 weeks ago it was, the contingency plan had their problems in that tag team match. As Mackie grabs hold of the ropes, referee making the break, and Williams does cleanly go for the break there, and Mackie charged at him. Of course, an arm drag is the result, and placed straight back into the armbar. It's been good for Williams because a lot of times when you become tag team champion, you focus strictly on the tag team division. Again, Assad and Ali kind of did that when they were the champions. Williams has kept up a strong solo career here in W3L. That's what enabled him to be put into the Wrestling Showdown Championship tournament. He was in that #1 heavyweight title contenders tournament back on Wrestling Showdown Live last year, if you remember that. Mackie doesn't give Williams a clean break, however. And so Williams likes to keep up a strong solo run. And again, he would love some solo gold at some point. And both men exchanging chops. Their chests will end up being as red as their outfits if this keeps up. And both men hard hitters. And Williams, what a forearm. I mentioned before about his tendon strength due to all the video games that he plays. He doesn't have perhaps arms like Tiny Iron, where you've got biceps that are like 3 miles circumference, but he's got extremely powerful arms, and those tendons in there, when Williams hits you, you know all about it. And Mackie, doing all his pole fitness, he has got a very strong core and strong arms as well. Williams chest first at the turnbuckle, and Mackie with a dropkick to the face. I don't think there's anybody who's got better accuracy in his moves than Mackie. Not quite enough to put Williams away this time. Interestingly, Mackie hasn't come to ringside with the shovel that he used on Williams before. Goes to the body press, takes him down, just nets him a 2. We last saw Mackie just last month wrestling Big Dave Jeremy. And Mackie scored a submission victory over him. Let's see how he does against Williams here. He's going for a leg drop perhaps. That's exactly what it is. Mackie hits a beautiful leg drop off the top. But just a 2 count. Maybe a bit too early for Williams to be put away. Williams banging his foot off the mat, get the crowd to start clapping so he can feed off that energy, and it does work. It's like having a tag partner in there. A metaphorical one, of course, but the crowd support can go a long way. Mackie, however, revels in antagonising an audience and is happy just to wind them up and annoy them. And Williams lands heavily in those turnbuckles. There's not a lot of padding on there, but there's enough presence of mind to launch Mackie up the ring apron. And Mackie snaps the arm on the top rope. And that's not a good move for Williams, because of course he likes to generate a lot of offense using his arms, likes to use those Hadoukens. And he smacks you in the chest, that knocks the air out your lungs. Hang on, Mackie's got him. And it's like a tightrope walker here. I mean, he's now looking more like a clown than ever did before. Now he's doing the tightrope act. Arm drags Williams. And they're focusing on the arm with the Wakigatame. In Japan, of course, known as the Fujiwara armbar, named after Yoshiaki Fujiwara, the man who popularised it, and still to this day uses it to gain many submission victories. Maybe up in years, but his skills have not diminished. Williams standing, trying to alleviate the pressure. Mackie with that calf kick. Just jumped up and caught Williams right in the chin, it seemed. And you see Williams, when he kicked out, he put his left shoulder off the canvas. His left arm went in the air, and that allowed Mackie to grab hold of it. And again, it's the arm he's been working on. and that was just pure instinct on Williams' part, but good for Mackie that he was able to see that and react immediately. This crowd spurring Williams on. Popular man is Kevin Williams. The ovation when he won the Tag Team Championship was pretty big, it has to be said. Big reverse neckbreaker. Now how much he got off that I don't know. Mackie went down, but of course the reverse neckbreaker, you generally pull your opponent down with both arms, and obviously one of Williams' arms has been weakened. And there's the result as Mackie kicks out. And you notice Mackie doesn't really force Williams off too much, just gets enough distance off the canvas with his shoulder, doesn't expend a lot of energy there. Mackie's got him hooked up with a misty flip. Folds him up in half almost, but Williams kicking out. He's tasted that move before, he's fallen to it before. If you remember at Wrestling 9 back in the end of 2015, both of these two men were in the golden ticket ladder match. It ended up being Williams being double teamed by Mackie and one of his henchmen for pretty much the whole match, which was not to Williams' favour, as Mackie lands across the arm, continuing that attack. He's become more focused, and Mackie has always been a dangerous opponent, but again we saw him targeting a limb much more often than he normally does, particularly in his match against Big Dave Jeremy. And so this is a new style for him, something new he's trying out. Ridging the arm around the bottom rope. Just last month we saw Kevin Williams losing to Dickie Divers in the semi-final of the Showdown Championship tournament. Two men that knew each other really well, fought many times in the tag ranks. Of course, Taylor Bryden liberally interfering in that match, and in the end Divers got the victory over Williams. But of course Bryden and Divers appear to be having some serious issues in the contingency plan. Oh, Mackie got took unawares there, and he's up on Williams' shoulders. I think he's about to go for a bad ride. And that's exactly what he gets. Short trip, bad landing, gets dropped down, and Williams just taking a few moments to gain some breath as well. Bear in mind he threw himself down. Mackie fell from a greater height, but both men hit the mat. Referee applying the count. Let's see who is the first to get up. Both men stirring. There's those Hadoukens. Again, the left arm of Williams, not sure how much torque and force is putting into it. And he drops Mackie with a bomb. Immediately rolls him over, good use of the legs, cradles him, and again, Mackie trying to roll back out of it, but Williams rolling him again. If it's working for you, why not? And Mackie, I think, getting dizzy from that one. Williams seemed determined to get him pinned there. He has over his shoulders. The crowd are liking this. And Mackie gets dumped down. And a kick out. What we're rolling with techniques, because likes the critical, it's the game over. Most that tend to use his arms, especially reversal at the corner. And there's that agility of Williams, and there's the game over. Mackie fell by the ropes and rolled to the floor. Lucky for him, I think. And I believe he's vanished under the ring apron. He'd be under the ring somewhere. Referee's gonna look for him. Referee could just start counting him out, I suppose. Williams, I'm sure, has seen this tactic before. So both men seem befuddled as to where Mackie's got to. Hang on, there he is, left of your screen. And he crawls in and kicks at the arm of Williams, took him by surprise. Now applies the Wakagatame and converts it into a crossface, it looks like, as the arm hooked. Ready to hit the neck and arm of Kevin Williams, who submits. The very good Mr. Euan Mackie gets a submission victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the contests via submission. The very good Mr. Euan Mackie.
Mackie gets a submission victory over Kevin Williams. Some questionable tactics, but regardless, he gets a victory here this week on Wrestling Showdown.
A submission victory there for the very good Mr. Euan Mackie, and that is certainly going to help his cause as he looks towards our live events coming in the month of May. And ladies and gentlemen, let me reveal to you right now that both the very good Mr. Euan Mackie and Kevin Williams will be part of the 2018 Seven Deadly Sins tournament. They will join tenacious Johnny Lyons as the first 3 people to be entered into that tournament. It takes place over our second batch of live events in the month of May. I've mentioned previously about our dates on the 11th and 12th in Todmorden and in Newcastle, but on the 25th, 26th and 27th of May we head to Musselburgh, Dunfermline and Grangemouth respectively. Now Musselburgh and Dunfermline see Seven Deadly Sins. We're splitting the tournament across 2 days, and we will see Mackie, Williams and Lyons involved in that tournament. They'll be joined by 4 other participants who will be revealed in the weeks to come, so make sure you stick with W3L and you'll find out just who those people are. In addition to that, in Dunfermline, we're going to be seeing the finals of the Wrestling Showdown Championship Tournament. It's Mike Musso versus Dickie Divers. One of them becomes the brand new Wrestling Showdown Champion, but who will it be? And in Grangemouth, you get all the Resolution Fallout. We've already announced that Joey Legend is going to be there all weekend. Blondie Barrett's going to be there all weekend. Mike Musso will be there all weekend. Leah Owens will be defending the Women's Championship. Jayla Dark will be, no doubt, hoping to get a shot at the Women's Championship. A whole bunch more besides. Them and our dates south of the border are 5 amazing live events that you really need to get yourself along to. And you can. Just buy some tickets. And you can do that by going to our website. It's W3LWrestling.com. Tickets are available there. Make sure you give us a like on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, join us on Instagram, subscribe to this very channel because then you'll be notified every single time a new episode of Wrestling Showdown is uploaded. Of course, use the hashtag W3L Wrestling Showdown. Let us know who you want to see in Seven Deadly Sins. Let us know who you think is going to win the big tag team match in Newcastle. Let us know who you think is going to become the first ever Wrestling Showdown champion. Get in touch with us, interact with W3L, follow us online, and you'll find out all the information first about all your favourite W3L stars and our big events. Ladies and gentlemen, talking about big events, in 7 days' time, right here on Showdown, we are going to be seeing a defence of the Heavyweight Championship. Blondie Barrett will be in action. He puts his title on the line against the 4th Dimensional Warrior, Vortex. There's a match you don't want to miss. So subscribe to this channel and then join me back here in 7 days' time for even more fantastic Wrestling Showdown.